Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I wanted to talk about some strange and unusual things that happened in and around the Twin Towers and the complex in the weeks leading up to September 11th. This video is simply exploring some of the oddities surrounding the World Trade Center in the days leading up to the tragic event. And the first one being the security system failures along with the power shutdowns. One of the most bizarre things that happened before 9/11 was a reported security shutdown and power down event that happened inside the Twin Towers on the weekend before the attacks. Now, understand the timeline. The attacks happened on Tuesday morning. This would be the Saturday and Sunday right before the attacks. Normally, a place like the World Trade Center had an advanced security system with 24/7 surveillance, yet in the days leading up to the attack, something strange happened. There was reported missing security camera footage. After September 11th, investigators found a significant amount of security footage from inside and around the World Trade Center was missing or unavailable. This is highly unusual because the World Trade Center had an extensive surveillance system that should have recorded everything. Some footage that did exist has never been publicly released. An IT worker that worked in the South Tower talked about the strange power down event that happened on September 8th and September 9th. The South Tower underwent a full power down, something that had never happened before, at least since this worker had began working there. During the power down event, it was reported the security cameras were, of course, offline. Electronic access systems were not working. Unidentified work crews were going in and out of the building. The worker described it as the only time he has ever seen such a huge shutdown at the World Trade Center. Some have suggested it's related to maintenance or system upgrades, but no official records confirming this have ever been released. To be honest, the details surrounding the shutdown are very hazy and murky in regards to it, although it is very interesting if it is true. The next thing I wanted to bring up was actually an individual by the name of John O'Neill, who was a counter-terrorist expert and a former FBI agent. O'Neill joined the FBI in 1976. There he would quickly develop a reputation as a tough, driven, and outspoken agent. By the 1990s, he became one of the agency's top counterterrorism experts. His deep focus on Osama bin Laden and Islamic extremism came after several key attacks, including the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. There were several other attacks involving Islamic extremists, which prompted O'Neill to push for more aggressive investigations into al-Qaeda, warning that bin Laden was planning something much larger. As head of FBI's counterterrorism unit in the late 1990s, O'Neill was one of the few American officials who saw bin Laden as a significant threat. His warnings, however, were dismissed or obstructed. He believed that al-Qaeda was planning a major attack on U.S. soil, likely targeting major landmarks. He was very frustrated by the intelligence agencies withholding information, such as the presence of al-Qaeda operatives in the United States before September 11th. He pushed for more aggressive resources in response, but his warnings were largely ignored. Despite his expertise, his career with the FBI ended under controversial circumstances in 2001. He was accused of mishandling a classified document, though many believe it was politically motivated. He had conflicts with the FBI leadership, including the lead director. He had an abrasive personality and insisted on prioritizing bin Laden. O'Neill left the FBI in August of 2001. Shortly after leaving, he took a job as the head of security for the World Trade Center, a position which he started on August 23rd, which would be just weeks, of course, before September 11th. It's been reported that he told friends that he believed the World Trade Center would be attacked again. And on the morning of September 11th, he was in his office in the North Tower when American Airlines Flight 11 struck. He was seen alive helping evacuate people before re-entering the building. His body was found in the rubble days later. In what amounts to one of the crazier stories regarding ironic fate when it comes to September 11th, the man that warned everyone about Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda ended up being reassigned to a position within a building that would be the victim of those same people. A friend of O'Neill's reported a late August of 2001 conversation they had after O'Neill was reassigned at the World Trade Center. The friend jokingly told O'Neill, quote, "At least they're not going to bomb it again," in referencing the 1993 bombing. O'Neill replied, "They'll probably try to finish the job." After the September 11th attacks, people realized there was some serious abnormal trading activity in the days before 9/11, and the biggest example of this would be the significant increase, an increase that was completely out of the blue, on put options based around airliner stocks. Now, the put options allow people to bet on stock price falling. So people were basically betting that two specific airliner stocks based around American Airlines and United Airlines would fall, and there were abnormal, significant investments made around the idea that airliner stocks would fall in the days leading up to September 11th. The S&P 500 index options also had peculiar behavior, including potentially evidence of unusual activity in put options for the S&P 500. Once again, it's the idea of betting against the stock market with the knowledge of a potential major attack upcoming in the United States. Now, if you had that knowledge, you would, of course, be led to believe the stock market would perform very badly in the day of and days following the attack. There was also a curious move in the weeks leading up to September 11th by Zim Shipping. Now, Zim was an Israeli shipping company and had offices within the World Trade Center, specifically on the 16th and 17th floor of the North Tower. The company was partially owned by the Israeli government. They announced in April of 2001 that they would be relocating and moving their headquarters from the North Tower to Norfolk, Virginia. The move ended up happening on September 4th, 2001, about a week and a half before the September 11th attacks. There were also claims that Zim broke their lease, forfeiting around $50,000 in a security deposit to vacate the premises, basically meaning vacate the World Trade Center complex early, which is very curious considering the event that would happen a week and a half later. The company did put out an official statement and said that this was always a part of their long-term business plan that they had initiated almost 2 years prior, and that their abrupt exit just a week and a half before September 11th could be explained as their lease was due to expire on September 1st of 2001, which would be 10 days before September 11th, which is why they abruptly moved out. Either way, it certainly is very curious timing.